delighted to welcome you to the program. As always, TV47, the home of untold stories, we endeavor to keep you up to date with what's making headlines from across the country and beyond. But first, here is a glimpse of our top stories. Among the top stories making headlines at this hour, key education activists from across the country are emerging in support of the Muguka ban, calling for a countrywide ban of the stimulant.
And as a country, I don't think Muguka, Mira, and the rest of the substances that affect children are the best we can give.
2 counties across the country take headline stances against tree cutting, with the popular and affordable fuel charcoal frowned upon.
Huku kulikuwa na miti, hakuna. Watu wamekata miti, wanachoma makaa.
And tension remains high in West Pokot County following yet another bandit attack resulting in torched property and loss of a known number of cattle.
Tunakuomba kwa roho ya unyenyekevu utusaidie KDF waende Kamalakon chini ya masaa 24.
Welcome to the broadcast. I am at George Maringa _ across the short social media platforms. We begin where Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale says Kenya is dedicated to using AI in the military ethically and responsibly to promote peace, security and stability in Africa and globally. Duale was speaking at the second day of the Africa Regional Workshop on the responsible use of artificial intelligence in the military domain in Nairobi. The workshop, a collaboration between Kenya, the Netherlands and South Korea, brought together 14 African nations to discuss AI's implications and responsibilities in the military, marking a significant step in regional cooperation on military technology. Other countries represented include Cameroon, Burundi, Ethiopia, Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, Namibia, South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Senegal and Mali.
Moreover, it is crucial to involve various stakeholders, the governments, the private sector, the academia, and the civil society in our discussion. An inclusive approach will also always ensure that AI systems we implement are robust, they are equitable, and they reflect our collective wishes and aspirations. Kenya as a country, and Ministry of Defense in particular, is committed to leading by example in the responsible use of AI in military. We are actively working on a framework that promotes ethical AI practices, enhance transparency, and ensure accountability. Our goal as a country is to leverage AI to bolster our national defense while contributing to our core mandate within the region and global peace and security. We are also dedicated as a country to capacity building, investing in the education and training of our military personnel to adapt AI technologies. By fostering a culture of continuous learning and innovation, we aim to stay ahead in the rapidly evolving AI landscape.
Azimio Coalition leader Raila Odinga has endorsed the one man, one vote, one shilling mantra, saying it's time for debate on the issue. Raila, who spoke when he received resolutions of Limuru 3 meetings at Chungwa House, Nairobi, praised Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for seeing the light and pushing the agenda. Odinga said he's also willing to work with the Deputy President, saying it is part of his agenda to work with everyone in government for his AUC bid.
I'm working with everybody in this country, nobody specifically. President Gachagua is a member of the government. And as you know, yesterday, the government pledged that they are going to support my bid for AU. And I said, Hewala. I thanked them. So he is seen the light. His soul was now become a Paul.
And alongside that, we also resolved that for the avoidance of doubt, there is something we call mudegi in our community. And that Muthegi was given to Uhuru, not when he was a president, but even before he became the president of this republic. And that Muthegi remains with Uhuru until the community decides otherwise when it finds it necessary. We resolved as a team that we will have to work together with other Kenyans to resist oppression. UDA has occasioned oppression within our area.
Education activists from the western region of the country have supported the county governments that want to ban Muguka while asking all the 47 counties to follow the same course. Speaking after a meeting in Bungoma, the activists led by John Mukanya of the Bungoma Child Rights Network say that the use of Muguka has greatly affected the level of education in the country. Fellow activist Umi Maloba says that the health concerns facing the youngsters has been a concern because Muguka is sold openly and everywhere.
We want to categorically state here that children deserve the best from any government, from any human being. And following the quote of a great philanthropist, Grant and Jeb, who said that humanity owes the child the best it has to give. And as a country, I don't think Muguka, Mira, and the rest of the substances that affect children are the best you can give.
Vijana ambao wangekuwa productive wachangie katika nyanza ya maendeleo wanapotelea hapo kwa sababu wanapotumia haya madawa ya kulevya yanawachanganya. Wengi wao wanalewa kwa sababu hawatumii Muguka peke yake, wanachanganya na vitu zingine kudhuru afya yao na kuwafanya waweze kujiingiza katika mambo mengine, kwa mfano anasa, na pia kuwabeba kwa sababu inawapea nguvu wanapoamini hivyo kujiingiza katika ujambazi na kazi zingine, na hiyo inachangia katika kudumisha uchumi sio wa pwani peke yake lakini katika nchi nzima.
Mimi kama mama ambaye analea na kuzaa, ningependa kusema kuwa miraa ama Muguka ibaniwe kabisa vile wamekataza chang'aa na madawa mengine ya kulevya. Na kama kuna biashara ingine ya watu wa Meru, bado watafanya biashara ingine, lakini wasifanye biashara ya Muguka na miraa.
Tension still remains high in Kamelei village, West Pokot County, as suspected bandits from the neighboring county ambushed the village, driving away an unknown number of livestock. This comes barely a month after another banditry attack left a 7-year-old girl dead in Kamologon along the West Pokot Elgeyo-Marakwet County borders. Confirming the incident, Pokot South Deputy County Commissioner David Bowen said the government has responded and the multi-agency team is already on the ground with results expected soon.
So kwa majina mimi naitwa Francis Tuliamuko. Mimi ni mkaaji wa hapa Kamelei. Yangu tu ningeomba kitu moja. Na naongelesha Mheshimiwa Duale. Wewe mwenyewe ulikuja Kapushen. Na ukasema KDF itaenda Kamelokon muda ya siku 7. Saa hii ni miaka 1 haijawahi kuja. Tunakuomba kwa roho ya unyenyekevu utusaidie KDF waende Kamelokon chini ya masaa 24.
Dingi alikuja hapa, aliahidi sisi atatuletea KDF kule Kamelokon, na hadi wa leo hajatuletea KDF.
Na tunaambia Ruto achunguze wasiri yake mzuri, ni kama ananyanyasa Pokot. So hiyo ndio yangu, naomba tu serikali aone sisi na asaidie sisi.
Nimeongea na county commissioner na amesema tutafute KPR 15 tukuje tufanyie vetting kesho, na tutafute bunduki tuwapatie wakae na askari wa astu watima. Iko sawa sawa. So iko sawa. Unaona mambo sio mbaya. Nipatie time. Niseme mambo ingine.
Education CS Ezekiel Machogu has reiterated that no school will be closed because of lack of capitation. Speaking during the launch of the 4th National Education Sector Strategic Plan, Machogu has added that the ministry aims to build 16,000 to 18,000 new classrooms for the junior schools by the end of the year. The strategic plan aims to improve the workability of the education ministry, with the government expected to fund 75% of the 5.2 trillion shillings needed for implementation. Further, Education Principal Secretary Belia Kipsang, who also attended the event, says that the plan will benefit the students as it focuses on nurturing the young minds.
Education, we are getting the biggest share. Almost 30% of that budget is coming to education because, as it were, the development of the human resource is one such area that we have given priority, and because of that, government, right from basic, tertiary, our TVET subsector, our universities are getting almost over 670 billion. So we promise that whatever resources which are allocated to our sector education, it will be utilized for the purposes for which it is intended.
Shall be funded to the extent of almost 75% of what we require, 3.5 trillion shillings, and we must mobilize, working with our development partners, working with all of us, working with our households, and working with all the stakeholders that are within the education sector to ensure that our key pillars of education, which is success, equity, quality, relevance, and retention, is achieved.
The Parliamentary Education Committee earlier today has assured parents that students who join public universities will not be charged higher amount of school fees as earlier stated by some institutions. Speaking in Chepteruai, Nandi County, the committee chair Julius Meli observed that parents are indeed alarmed by the current tuition fees charged by the institutions despite the government's effort to support the students. He further assured the nation by stating that Parliament will ensure that the school fees are standardized.
Tulisikia tukiongea mambo ya elimu ya vyuo vikuu. Wengi wenu hapa mmepata barua na au mmeweza kuwa admitted to various universities. Universities walifanya kosa kwa kuwapatia wanafunzi fee structure ya 1,600, zingine nusu milioni, zingine 1,300. Sisi kama bunge tulisikizana jana na tuliambia waziri apatie mzazi fee structure ya household peke yake. Ile pesa mzazi atalipa.
The conversation on higher education continues. Higher Education Institution Innovation Summit has nurtured an environment of innovation within these institutions, supporting 18 teams of students and academic innovators in developing industry-relevant innovations and prototypes. Speaking during the summit today, IHUB Managing Director Ojoma Ochai says the summit aims to empower the next generation of African leaders in science and technology by supporting academic innovators and entrepreneurs. Nafisa Ajil, a beneficiary, has lauded the summit, saying it has helped her in the course of growing her own system that will benefit the health sector in Kenya.
A startup finishes a program, whether it's an incubator or accelerator like Uni Innovators, they get inducted into our community. And we make a lot of effort to support our community through offering them events, through offering them other pitching opportunities, connecting them to people that they can collaborate with, providing them follow-on funding where it's available, and continuing to support them on an ongoing basis. Our community at the moment has over 10,000 entrepreneurs that we support across the continent of Africa. And so we don't leave them alone. We don't take them through a program and leave them halfway there. In our community, and we continue to provide opportunities for them to scale their businesses.
Communication barrier between the deaf population and healthcare workers. And how are we leveraging on this? We're trying to introduce an EdTech solution whereby we're going to be training healthcare workers as well as medical students on a well-curated sign language course that we're terming Medical Sign Language course.
Residents of Ijara constituency in Garissa County, led by their MP, Ali Abdi, have protested lack of electricity for 3 months, a situation that has affected health and education institutions, while leaving residents with no water. Abdi now wants Kenya Power and Lighting Company, KPLC, top leadership to appear before the National Assembly's Energy Committee to explain the delay despite numerous protests.
And it has caused a lot of damages, especially to traders, the vendors in my constituency.
Masalani town and Ijara town. So I'm just calling KPLC that Ijara people are stakeholders in this country. They equally demand services the way other Kenyans are demanding services. So I request a permanent solution to the people of Ijara constituency. We are ready to pay. We are very good payers. We are customers of KPLC, and we are asking KPLC to come up with a power station to address this reliability of power in Ijara constituency, mainly Masalani town and Ijara town.
Civil society groups led by Bunge la Mwananchi has filed a petition against the proposed finance bill, citing high taxes on already suffering Kenyans. Speaking during demonstrations on the bill and the budget, the lobby group expressed their dissatisfaction with this year's budget, in which basic commodities have remained high despite public outroar. The petition was received by Embakasi East MP at Parliament buildings.
Within those 14 days, kama hamtakuwa mmetupatia chenye tunataka kama wa Kenya, itabidi tumeonana umundu humundu. Sisi wa Kenya ndio tunaumia, na sisi tunasema tutapigania wa Kenya wenzetu kama itawezekana, na tutashikana mkono na wale like-minded people wenye wako kama sisi. Tuhakikishe kuwa Kenya inaenda sambamba venye inatakikana.
Toka maandamano tulipata Wakenya wengi waliuliwa sana. Mliona masanduku, maiti zilikuwa zikipelekwa nyumbani. Si nzuri kama mtu anakuja hapa town kujitafutia na anarudi kwao kama maiti. Kwa hivyo mimi nawahakikishia tuko hapa na Mheshimiwa Samuel Atandi. Kuna waheshimiwa wengine pia ambao wanawasupport. Mimi nawahakikishia kwa heshima yenu ndio imefanya sisi tutoke nje, tusione wenzetu walio hapa na hakuna mtu yeyote ambaye anawashughulikia.
Vihiga County Government has started a debate on banning of planting and cultivation of eucalyptus trees near water catchment areas in the county, through a law that will be presented before the County Assembly to prevent the local residents from planting trees near the rivers, while those already planted to be uprooted. According to Vihiga County Governor Wilbur Otichilo, many rivers in the area are in danger of drying due to the cultivation of the thirsty eucalyptus trees in the area.
Tumezungumzia kwa muda mrefu sheria ya eucalyptus ama hii blue gum ambayo sasa mutapitisha ili sasa tuanze ku-enforce kutoa eucalyptus kutoka sehemu za chemichemi. So hiyo sheria inakuja hivi karibuni.
Now, Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has issued a stern warning to those who will be found cutting trees for charcoal production in the county. Speaking in Mavoko during the celebration of Environment Day, Wavinya stated that her government intends to ban tree cutting and charcoal burning in efforts to prevent environmental degradation. She stated that as the county government, they will continue offering alternative solutions to cooking in order to eliminate the use of the famous charcoal jikos.
Huku kulikuwa na miti, hakuna. Watu wamekata miti, wanachoma makaa. And I've been a victim of that here. Kuna wengine walikata miti hapa kwa shamba yetu hapa, nikakuta wanachoma makaa hapa kwa soko. Kwa hivyo tunasema, na mimi nimeambia department yangu ya environment, na tunafanya kazi na serikali kuu na machief na assistant chief na wazee wa vijiji wote. Tumekubaliana DC yule anashikwa akikata mti asonge akisonganga. Na already nilipatiana more than 2,000 hizo majiko, na nitaendelea kupatiana zingine kwa sababu mimi sitaki maneno ya kukata miti.
Effects of climate change are expected to reduce if communities living in natural forests refrain from cutting trees and burning of charcoal, among other unhealthy environmental practices. Speaking during sensitization of the public about positive environmental practices, different stakeholders, together with the Kenya Forestry Research Institute, KEFRI, asked the public to embrace collective farming, especially in dry areas, in attempts to manage climate change.
Hatutapanda tu miti peke yake,
bali pia tuongeze miti ya matunda. Hii ni kupambana pia na ile ukame inakuwa na kiangazi, kwa sababu miti ya matunda pia ni chakula.
Tutaweza kuzuia mambo ambayo yanayotupata katika eneo hili, ambayo tukianza na ukame ambayo imekuwa ni kitu ambacho kimekuwa tukiona katika eneo hili kila wakati.
Tutatunza miti, tutatunza mazingira, na pia kuna mbinu zingine za kuhimiza upanzi wa miti kama FMNR. FMNR inaitwa Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration, pale ambapo ile miti ambayo tuko nayo kwa sasa inatunzwa. We do pruning na tuna enrich. Tunapanda hii mvua kidogo, tunapanda ile miti ambayo inakubaliana na mazingira ya huko.
In the quest to address positive environmental practices, the World Environment Day celebrations held in Embu on Wednesday brought limelight to a 10-year-old Alice Wanjiru. Her love for environment is undeniable, planting over 5,000 trees at the Afro Forest along Nairobi's Ruai area. With her organization, the Green Hummingbird Foundation, she aims to plant up to 10 million trees come the year 2030 with the aid of the Kenya Scout Association that has now crowned her as the Scouts Climate Action Ambassador.
Children are the most vulnerable people because they get sicknesses and diseases because of climate change, and they can get affected by climate change in severe ways.
Alice has led cleanup exercises, especially with the support of Kenya Scouts Association, who are indeed a great partner and people who have propelled her to the level she has come to today, because they have provided her with human labor. Whenever she's going for exercises, she needs many people to plant as many trees, and also those who are helping her to adopt the trees.
We are very proud of this young girl called Alice, because she's an epitome of what we really strive as a movement to produce. We're a youth organization, educational movement that wants to to educate young people so that they can play a constructive role in society. So this is an exemplification of the same. Somebody who has been educated through the movement and is able to play a constructive role in society.
Now, stakeholders and residents in Thika East Sub-County, Kiambu County, have petitioned the government to initiate a cleanup exercise of the heavily polluted Athi River. Speaking in Thika during a cleanup exercise to mark the International Environment Day, the locals, led by Emily Gachengo, have expressed that their livelihoods and economic activities such as fishing and farming have been disrupted. This follows the uncontrolled pollution that has cut short water life in the river.
We expect that people are going to throw sewage into the rivers, and so of course we need to clear a lot of such people around the Liberian land.
Tulikuwa nakuja kupumzika hapa, saa hii huwezi kupumzika. Kuna needles, kuna gloves zimewekwa hapa, kuna masks zimetapakaa kila pahali, plastic papers. Tunaomba hiyo uchafu iwe limited.
Hii maji mimi wakati sasa nimeanza kuwa mjanja, tulikuwa tunakunywa hii maji. Tulikuwa tunapiga busy ndani, then tunaikunywa. Hiyo ni tuko 97 98. But kwa hiyo wakati sewage imekuwa mingi zaidi.
Mtu au kampuni akifanyia kuharibu mazingira achukuliwa hatua.
Now, residents of Kiptunoi village in Ainamoi, Kericho County have held demonstrations decrying the Kiptunoi water project. The 37 million shillings project initiated by the county government has been criticized for its allegedly substandard construction and apparent failure to benefit the residents. The local residents have accused their local leader, Paul Chirchir, for failing to fulfill his mandate to serve the community while raising concerns about the funds allocated for the project.
Ilifunguliwa 2019, alafu till now hatujawahi kukunywa maji. Sasa imepita wakati wa kufungua maji. But what we are getting from the county government, they are telling us watakuja kufungua maji very soon. Atimalizike kwa hii budget. So that is why we've come to the river to demand for our right.
Now, ile kitu nimeshangaa. Are we really in Kenya? No. Are we really in Kenya? This is what I'm saying. Kwa sababu we are part of, you know, hii project imekaa sana. 37 million ilienda wapi? Na hakuna hata mtu ya serikali na kuchanga hapa.
Kwa saa hii hata hakuna pahali pa kuchota maji. Maji yote inaenda kwa tank, hakuna hata pahali tunachota naye maji. Sasa mlilio yetu tulikuwa nataka maji. Lakini kwa sababu hawakufuatilia vile tulikuwa tunataka serikali yetu ya Kericho atusaidie.
The youth have been advised to avoid the lure of easy money since it can lead to them being tricked into slavery. Speaking during the unveiling of the Saint Name of Chuka Girls High School in Tharaka Nithi County, Bishop Salesius Mugambi urged the youth to be careful as modern-day slavery comes in different forms, from neocolonialism to the torturous ordeals of Kenyans who travel to the Middle East and other countries in the hope of greener pastures, only to be made to work in terrible conditions.
Students are busy doing dress rehearsal for the day.
From when I was I was in school, I used to hear Kiptunoi. It has never changed also. They should take this example now. So when I pass through, I say, I'm going to Saint this, Saint that. So the road is where you are surrounded by saints. And the Chuka will bring the whole town even to have a change. And they will feel really this place, whatever is flying around here, is the spirit of goodness, spirit of the Lord, spirit of holiness.
Today is a very special day for this community. We are unveiling the saint name of the school. This is a Catholic-sponsored school, and our Lordship, the Bishop of Meru, will be with us today.